This is my 1969 140 custom color John Deere in Patio Red. So a lot of people refer to these as a patio series when really they're a custom color series that John Deere created as a marketing scheme in 1969. Not everyone wanted, or so they thought, not everyone wanted a green and yellow tractor, and they were losing market share to Minneapolis, Cub Cadet, Ford, several others. So they introduced tractors that were the same colors as their competitors. It turned out to be kind of a marketing flop because if you're a John Deere guy, you want a green and yellow tractor. But they did create this series. They were all white in the frame, and then you could get the hood color and seat color of your choice, whether it be red, yellow, orange, or blue. As time progressed, they realized that painting these units created a problem in the manufacturing process and the assembly line. They had to have a whole new paint line, so they painted the later models different colors, painted them black instead of the dogwood white, so that they could streamline the process of building these tractors. So the later models are harder to distinct by color.
On the engine?
On the engine. And several linkages and several other parts. I'd say the yellow is probably the hardest to come by. This red was a really good seller just because it, attracts a lot of attention and whatever, but I think the yellow ones are probably the rarest colors, especially the seats are a different shade of yellow than the regular John Deere seats, so that's really hard to tell on the yellow ones what's going on in the seat. To have a seat that's complete and not cracked in these areas is really hard to find because there really are very few new old stock seats available to buy. They're all, kind of reconditioned or remade seats. This is a 1969. This is the first year they made them, and they made them through the mid to end of 1971. And then John Deere came through and said, we're done with that. Go ahead and paint them all green. So they issued an order to dealerships to paint them green. And some people, as they restore, will find this white paint under the green all over the body of the tractor, and especially under the hood supports and various areas that were hard to get paint to. The die-hard John Deere guys wanted a green and yellow tractor. They didn't want a silly red one that said John Deere, so they made sure to get them back to green and yellow. This is the triple hydraulic H3 version, so we could run a lift mechanism underneath as well as auxiliary, two sets of auxiliary hydraulics. And they also had a rear hydraulic option, which this tractor does not have, but that was an option from time to time. You could get back there to run a 3-point hitch or other attachments in the back. This tractor has a Haban Sickle Mower, which is an aftermarket company, but they actually did paint them to match. Haban themselves painted these sickle mower attachments to match the John Deere custom color line. This is a complete integral unit underneath. It comes off the factory Patio clutch and then runs a line shaft back to a gearbox to the wobble box on the mower. So kind of a neat little unit. Really pretty hard to find this sort of attachment being aftermarket and in this condition. Putting a price tag on this is kind of dependent upon the collector, I guess. I would say, at a higher end auction with the right buyer, around $8,000, I would say, $7,000 to $8,000 to the right buyer. In this, it's in excellent mechanical operating condition. And it has several features and accessories. Of course, the headlights. Not all of them had the headlights. And then as you come around, it has a cigarette lighter, in case you need a little smoke on your mowing adventures. And this also has the 1969 only strike wheels. John Deere wheel manufacturing actually went on strike, so they had to buy their lawn and garden wheels from a different company into the solid center.
How long have you been collecting garden tractors?
Oh, I started right out of high school, and then as college and life got in the way, kind of took a pause from it, and then really got back into it in about 2018, so about 5 years.
What do you have in your collection most of?
It's all John Deere garden tractors of all shapes and sizes. I have a 1963, which is the first year of John Deere production, all the way up to 92. 100, 200, 300, 400 series, and a few oddball pieces and lots of attachments.
How many do you have in your collection?
Oh, last count was in the 160 range, give or take. You know, buy and sell some. And sometimes I forget, but it's right around there.
A couple years ago, I asked you, and you were maybe 80s.
Yeah.
And I said, "What do you want?"
They're like rabbits; they kind of multiply. You know, other collectors get out of the business, and sometimes it's easier to get a deal if you buy them all. So, got to save them all.
There you go. Good deal. Thank you, Newt.
You're welcome.